This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 24th day of January in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Opposition Member of Parliament Vince Roy Jordan and Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa went head-to-head today in the National Assembly over the government's handling of the Guyana Sugar Corporation, Guyana. MP Jordan, during his budget debate presentation, said despite the many investments and increased spending by the government towards Guyana, the sugar industry is still not performing well. He said Guyana is producing 50% less sugar today than under the coalition administration, despite the investments being made.
In short, Guyana received approximately $4 billion in support from the APNU-AFC government annually as a plan to ensure it returns to optimal production and sustainability. Then moving to viability, and sir, it produced at an average 100 metric tons of sugar annually under the APNU-AFC. While under the PPPC, Guyana received over $30 billion, sir, and all public servants must know, all Guyanese must know, over $30 billion in just under 3 years. And now it's producing an average of about 50,000 metric tons of sugar annually.
The opposition MP said the government should be honest with the people of Guyana, explaining that while it boasts that sugar production has increased by 28%, it must also tell the nation that Guyana's target was revised downwards 3 times.
When in fact sugar production took a drastic decline from the last complete year of the coalition, where in 2019, like I said, we produced over 92,000 tons of sugar, Mr. Speaker. Now, sir, in 2022 and 2023, Guyana produced 47,000 metric tons, sir, scraped a 53,000, sir, and now, sir, producing 60 metric tons of sugar, respectively.
In response, the Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa said the sugar industry actually started to decline under the coalition government and not the PPP. The decline of sugar actually started in the early 2000s. But Minister Mustafa said since the PPP's return to office, the sugar industry has become viable again.
This year, we have seen a 28% growth in the sugar industry. Last year, and this year, further it will go another 66% to ensure that we make 100,000 tons of sugar. That's the turnover that we're talking about.
According to the Agriculture Minister, the government will continue to invest in the sugar industry. He said the reopening of closed sugar estates is one of the top priorities of the government to ensure that persons are back at work and the economies of the communities with sugar estates are revived. The Agriculture Minister said investments will also continue across the agriculture sector, noting that since its return to office 3 years ago, the current government has spent more than $120 billion on the agriculture sector. Minister Mustafa said many other sectors within the agriculture sector continue to record growth, and he believes that's a direct result of the investment by the government. More news coming up in just a moment.
My lord, I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look, the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
On Thursday, February 22nd, we're heading to the biggest wet fed of MASH, Splashamani 2024 at the Guyana National Stadium. Nuff water, pulse, nuff soca. The night before the holiday, soca star Problem Child.
Ola Tunji.
Splash-O-Matic, the official wet fed of MASH 2024. Problem Child, Olatunji, and more to be added. Come, let's soak you down in water and soca. Early bird tickets $3,000. Brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment.
It's your time to win big. The Massey Stores Christmas Jackpot promotion is back and bigger than before. Spend $5,000 at any Massey Stores to be the lucky winner of a brand new MGZS and fantastic weekly store prizes from now until January 31st, 2024. What are you waiting for? Head to your nearest Massey Stores to shop now. See our Facebook and Instagram pages for more details. Massey Stores, our family serving your family.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Let's tell you now that opposition member of parliament Gita Chandan Edmund was rushed to the hospital this afternoon from the National Assembly after she started to experience physical tremors and her speech started to slur during her presentation on the national budget. In a statement, the opposition said when MP Gita Chandan Edmund approached the podium to make her contribution that there were notable signs of slurred speech and physical tremors. The opposition leader's office said the emergency medical technicians stationed at the National Assembly were called in and recommended that she be immediately transferred to the Accident and Emergency Unit at the Georgetown Hospital. The opposition, while stating that its thoughts are with the MP, indicated that it will update the public on her condition as information becomes available. Opposition members of Parliament Amanzo Walton Desir and Jarita Fernandes, who were among those who accompanied the MP Chandan Edmund to the emergency room, said she was being monitored for a possible mini stroke.
The EMTs came, they monitored her. What we know is that she has a history of low blood sugar and so on, and it drops and so on. So yeah, they were very, very concerned about a TIA, and so they have her in there trying to verify what is going on.
The Speaker of the National Assembly, Mansour Nadir, was one of the first persons to notice the episode and quickly brought the sitting to a halt as the live video stream was ended and the medical team was called in. Let's tell you now that President Irfan Ali left the country today for an official visit to Ghana. In a statement today, the Office of the President said that while in Ghana, the President will receive the Global Africa Leadership Award for his strong and transformational leadership. The President's office also said the honor also recognizes President Ali's commitment to building one Guyana by emphasizing the need for unity, inclusivity, and shared prosperity, and his strong and principled leadership during the period of heightened tension due to the border controversy between Guyana and Venezuela. During his official visit, the President is also expected to deliver the keynote address at the Presidential Dialogue session and participate in panel discussions at the Africa Prosperity Dialogue Summit of Heads of State and Business Leaders. Meanwhile, the International Decade of People of African Descent Assembly Guyana, IPADG, has issued a call on the African Prosperity Network to withdraw its bestowal of the African Global Leadership Award to President Irfan Ali. The organization said while the president and his government continue to make politically correct statements on the international stage, the government's domestic actions do not match that talk. IPADG highlighted a number of issues facing the African Guyanese community that have been overlooked by the government and noted the withdrawal of funds from the organization over the past 3 years. Well, the foreign ministers of Guyana and Venezuela will meet in Brasilia, Brazil tomorrow as a follow-up to the meeting that took place back in December between President Irfan Ali and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The meeting is in keeping with the Argyle Declaration that was reached in St. Vincent and the Grenadines meeting between the two presidents. It will see the setting up of a joint ministerial commission to address agreed issues. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said Guyana remains fully committed to the principles of the Argyle Declaration, especially to ensure the peace of the region. Guyana's Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd will be joined by Foreign Secretary Robert Poussaint, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Elizabeth Harper, recently appointed Ambassador to Venezuela, Dr. Richard Van West Charles, Director of Frontiers, Donnet Street, and the Chargé d'Affaires of the Guyana Embassy in Brazil, Vernon Robinson. In the joint Argyle Declaration, Guyana and Venezuela agreed to continue dialogue on agreed matters and to refrain from escalating any conflict or disagreement. The Argyle Declaration also noted Guyana's position that the border case is properly before the International Court of Justice, and that is where it will remain for a final settlement. While the declaration also noted Venezuela's rejection of the court to adjudicate the matter.
Twice the fun, twice the thrill. On your next trip with Copa Airlines, stop over in Panama and enjoy 2 vacations in 1 at no additional airfare. Because to live life at its fullest, first you have to stop. So next time you fly Copa Airlines, stop over in Panama at no additional airfare.
Stock the finest in the country, both ceramic and porcelain, tiles and chandeliers you'll see while you shop around stress-free. Train stop at warming halls, make your shopping smooth and calm, providing you with quality to match your style that's so unique. Mima Decor.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo, from its pristine rivers to its abundant resources. It's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Back to the budget debates now, warning the National Assembly against naysayers who cast doubt over developments taking place in Guyana. The Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat, has defended the government's track record in managing the resources of the country, including the oil and gas sector. In his presentation, he took a swipe at the opposition member of parliament, Royce Ford, who in kickstarting the budget debates on Monday, accused the government of mishandling the Natural Resources Fund. However, Minister Barrett said that statement is far from the truth.
The honorable member, Mr. Ford, when he spoke yesterday morning, said that we took out the safeguards from the Natural Resources Fund Act so that we can squander oil money. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the 2021 December Natural Resources Fund Act actually strengthened the transparency and accountability in the way we manage the oil and gas revenue in this country. Mr. Speaker, previously it was left on the whims and fancies of the Minister of Finance to decide how much money should flow into the consolidated fund. We changed that. We changed that so that the minister will not sit and decide how much money, but there is a formula to determine every single year how much money will flow into the national budget.
The Natural Resources Minister said there is a Natural Resources Fund Board of Directors, as well as an investment committee managing the use of the funds. He was keen on noting as well that any removal of money from the Natural Resources Fund must secure the approval of the National Assembly, and the government, he said, is committed to the process.
Because oil and gas can be a curse or it can be a blessing, and we all know that. Look around us at our neighboring countries and you will see that. It is the prudent management of the sector. It is the prudent management of the sector and ensuring that there is proper accountability and transparency and ensuring that the benefits reaches every single Guyanese. That will bring us opportunities from the oil and gas sector, Mr. Speaker.
Opposition Member of Parliament Sherwin Holder told the National Assembly that the government has been mismanaging the natural resources of the country, among them gold. He said while the gold industry remains a key contributor to national economic performance and to hinterland settlement and development, accounting for 68% of the non-oil GDP and 6 to 70% of non-oil exports, it has experienced massive declines under the current government. The opposition member said government has continuously failed to respond to the challenges facing miners, including the need for increased mining lands. And the opposition MP also told the National Assembly that the oil industry is constantly in a state of turmoil due to the government's unpatriotic stance. He said the government's refusal to provide proof of Exxon's $2 billion parent company guarantee in the event of an oil spill, as first ordered by the court, risk putting the entire country in jeopardy. He said the government must do better. Well, with much of the ongoing budget debate centered around the rise in the cost of living and whether the government is putting sufficient measures in place to assist citizens, the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Charles Ramson Jr., has indicated that citizens are much better off under the current government than they were under the previous APNU-AFC administration. Mr. Ramson told the National Assembly on Tuesday that Guyanese at home are doing so much better that many of them are now sending money to their families overseas.
Guyanese are traveling in and out of the country. Ordinary Guyanese are traveling in and out of the country like never before. Guyanese are now sending their families overseas money. They're sending their families overseas, with the exception of maybe the leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, who I have an article published in Stabrook News where it says Aubrey Norton blocked by MoneyGram for receiving $500 US, likely as a result of anti-money laundering law.
A World Bank report on remittances found that more money was sent to Guyana in 2023 than any other recent year. The report stated that more than $545 million was estimated as being remitted to Guyana last year. But continuing with his debate and defense of the budget measures, Minister Ramson accused the opposition of being involved in what he called voodoo economics, as he explained that despite the opposition's arguments and complaints, ordinary Guyanese are doing much better economically.
There are over 10,000 cars being registered every 5 months in this country. Every 5 months a new car is being registered by the ordinary man. Tens of thousands of homes in this country are either being built or renovated. Again, the ordinary man. Interest rates are the lowest that they have ever been in this country's history, and it is now comparable to the United States of America, Canada, the UK, and all of the developed world, right here because of the macroeconomic management in this country.
Ramson said the opposition will always argue against budget spendings, noting that the policies of the current government are sound. There continues to be widespread calls from citizens across the country for the government to do much more to address the issues related to the rise in the cost of living over the past few years. The opposition has argued that the budget is heavy on spending to support the rich, while ordinary citizens are largely ignored. The $1.146 trillion budget is the largest one to ever be presented in Guyana. It is expected to be financed heavily through loans and earnings from the oil and gas sector. Some sad news to report now. 2 persons lost their lives last evening along the recently opened Heroes Highway on the east bank of the Marara in the vicinity of the Diamond Access Road. The accident took place at around 6:10 p.m. The dead persons have been identified as 3-year-old Emily Passad and 50-year-old Bhagat Singh. A police report of the incident revealed that a motor car which was being driven by a 21-year-old man with 5 occupants was proceeding south along the eastern carriageway of the 4-lane highway at a fast rate. When, as he approached the junction with the Diamond Access Road, he failed to make a right turn at the marked diversion. The police said the young driver continued driving south along the roadway and slammed into several concrete piles that were at the side of the roadway. The driver and his 5 passengers were all badly injured. The police said most of them suffered multiple injuries to their heads and bodies. Emergency services arrived at the scene and rushed all of the injured persons to the Diamond Hospital, where Bhagat Singh was pronounced dead and Emily Passad passed away while in the emergency room. One of the survivors has since been transferred to the Georgetown Hospital for emergency care. As a result of the collision, the driver, along with the 5 occupants, received injuries to their heads and other parts of the bodies, the police reported. The driver of the car, who has since been identified as Daniel Gomes, is among the injured persons. A full investigation is on the way as the police await a post-mortem examination of the 2 who died. Since its opening back in December, there have been several accidents along the Heroes Highway. Commuters and persons who live nearby have called for road safety signs to be erected in the area and for traffic lights to be added at various points where there is a merging of the roads.
Are you looking to start or advance your career with one or more of our world-class associate, bachelor, or master's degrees in 14 specializations from the comfort of your home worldwide? Then look no further than the University of Excellence Management in Business, UEMB. We are affordable, accessible, flexible, multi-world-class, internationally accredited and recognized, and locally recognized by NAC Guyana as a tertiary degree-granting college. For more details on our no-strings-attached 60% scholarship and our payment plan, please call 225-1395, 225-1397-9, 681-3434, or 618-3434. Visit our administrative office in the Critchlow Labour College Front Building, Wolford Avenue, Georgetown, Guyana. Progressing to a degree is as easy as ABC with UEMB. Deal with the best and forget the rest.
Imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, Cubans are preparing for a new wave of inflation after the government last week rolled out details of an austerity plan that economists say will touch nearly every facet of the communist-run island's already flailing economy. Reuters in a report said the measures, which include price and tax increases and cuts in subsidies, will slow a soaring budget deficit forecast to exceed 18% of gross domestic product and set the stage for growth. Authorities have already announced that gas at the pump stations will jump nearly fivefold on February 1, but some economists say less visible government price increases, such as on wholesale fuel and moving freight, as well as sales and import taxes, are sure to ignite substantial hikes on most products and services at the retail level. Cubans in Havana told Reuters prices rose following the announcements. Brazilian President Luiz Lula da Silva on Tuesday offered cooperation to his Ecuadorian counterpart Daniel Noboa to boost security amid escalating violence in the country, Reuters said in a report. In a phone call, Lula said Brazil was willing to help Ecuador through cooperation in intelligence and security, according to a statement from the presidential palace. Noboa took power in November and pledged to curb violence, which has been on the rise since the pandemic. Incidents this month have included the taking of more than 200 prison staff as hostages and explosions in several cities. Ecuador's government declared a state of emergency for 60 days earlier this month to tame the violence. Noboa and Lula agreed that South American countries need to unite in the fight against organized crime, the statement said, adding coordination is also needed with drug-consuming countries to effectively combat trafficking. And finally tonight, international news. Reuters in a report said that a Russian military plane crashed near the Ukrainian border on Wednesday, and state news agency RIA quoted the defense ministry as saying it was carrying 65 Ukrainian prisoners of war to be exchanged for Russian captives. The plane was carrying 74 people, including 6 crew and 3 guards when it crashed, RIA cited the defense ministry as saying. There was no immediate information on the cause. However, a lawmaker in Russia's parliament and a retired general said during a parliamentary session that the plane had been shot down by 3 missiles. He did not say what the source of his information was. Reuters could not immediately verify details of who was on board, but Russia and Ukraine regularly swap prisoners of war. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.